After the Electoral College vote, Donald Trump apparently, he was pretty surprised by the result. This is a guy who really has convinced himself that it's all gonna come up Trumpy eventually. He apparently, according to Axios, held the false hope that Republican-controlled state legislatures would replace electors with allies who'd overturn Joe Biden's win, according to two people who'd been talking with Trump. Now, if you are watching this, and especially if you're very online and you've been tracking sort of some of the narratives coming from the right over the past 24 hours or so, what Trump was hoping for there is a little bit different than sort of the thing that's taken over the right-wing media over the last day. Trump was hoping for the actual set of electors to be replaced. He didn't get that. What he did get is these alternate slates of electors that you've probably seen people like Dave Rubin and others tweeting about. These are just random people. That's all it is. But right-wing media is like obsessed with these people. They really are convinced that they're now being sent, and they're gonna disrupt this thing when it gets to Congress, that somehow those are going to end up being the real results, or at the very least, that the presence of those alternate slates of electors will allow court cases to continue, and maybe the Supreme Court will take it up. It's not impossible, I suppose. This country is insane, and insane things happen. That doesn't seem to me to be a thing that's going to happen, but that's where a lot of the sort of hopes for the future are coming from right now. Frederick, I don't know if you were following that at all yesterday about those alternate slates of electors.
Yeah, I was following it, and I think that it only reaffirms how badly and quickly we need this administration gone, right? Because what's happening is that every other day there's some new deep conspiracy as to how the election is a fraud, or how they're going to fix said fraud with some other cockamamie thing like this, right? I've read a bit about it. There's no grounds. This is not going to work. It's not a thing. Like you said, they're just a bunch of people, but what they're doing is, again, said with the gaslighting, they are making people further radicalized in this conspiracy about the election, and it's going to get violent. It's going to get very violent before the end of all this, in my personal opinion, because he's doubling down.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that. I hope not. Obviously, there were multiple stabbings in DC related to the Proud Boys and all that. I do hope not. But Trump is a dangerous guy when he gets desperate, and he's getting more desperate. Every one of those sort of these steps along the way to this thing being finalized, it's less options for him. And that's really the reason I'm interested in this Axios story, is that the people talking to him say that it's not just grift. It is grift. They're raising all this money, along the way, and he's gonna have that no matter what. But part of him, he apparently has convinced he's actually going to stay president. And it's taking him to extreme places. So I wanna turn to how this affects how he interacts with one Republican. So I'm gonna jump ahead just a little bit. A second source says that Trump had ranted about how Governor of Arizona Ducey had been close to the late Senator John McCain of Arizona, a Trump nemesis, and how Kemp, governor of Georgia, in Trump's views, owes him his election but gave him nothing in return. In Trump's private telling, Kemp was way down in the polls during his primary race, and Trump was bored one day in 2018, quote, "So I started tweeting an endorsement, and his support put Kemp in office," which is, whether that's true or not, that actually was the thing that helped Kemp that much, it's a really weird way to present to other people your interaction with politics, that you got bored one day, so you endorsed one guy over another. But anyway, that's not the most important thing here. Trump's tweets, I understand, we're sick of them, they're crazy. His retweets, though, frequently are even crazier. And so I wanna jump to this last graphic. This is a tweet from Lynn Wood. Lynn Wood is technically a lawyer, and he's been running around the country doing crazy things. And he tweeted, "President Trump is a genuinely good man," which is crazy by itself, but we'll move on. "He does not really like to fire people. I bet he dislikes putting people in jail, especially Republicans. He gave Brian Kemp and Georgia Secretary of State every chance to get it right. They refused. They will soon be going to jail." Donald Trump retweeted the assertion from this madman that the Republican governor and Republican Secretary of State are going to be locked up for not overturning the results of the election. Oh, and by the way, let's just make clear what he's talking about there. Not even overturning the entire result of the election, because again, even if Trump won Georgia, he'd still lose the election. He's implying that they're gonna try to lock up elected Republicans over this thing. And that's not even really big news today, Frederick. The fact that the president is retweeting that madness.
You know what I will say about Trump's time as president? It has pulled back the veil for me on just how little oversight there is on certain things, right? Like, to me, I'm always like, oh yeah, there's somebody tweeting for this politician. There's somebody that's not Trump. And I'm just like, oh my God, he's really on the toilet right now, tweeting these things out, right? And the levels of danger that there are to it are, I mean, you can't speak to how dangerous it is. He's the president of the United States, retweeting, just like I can't, right? Like, when in history has something like this ever happened? I don't think that people have wrapped their minds around it because it's so normalized that Donald Trump just tweets conspiracy theorists, really.
Yeah, and I get that there's probably a lot of people who are just watching are like, maybe they approach it as, yeah, it's crazy, but he's gonna be gone soon. Or people have been beaten down by the sheer crazy every day, and I get it. This show every morning, we gotta wake up and we gotta deal with it. But we're not out of the woods until Biden is inaugurated. Trump is still technically the president. He just got rid of his attorney general for not being loyal enough. He's firing people left and right. They're executing people. He still has power, including of life and death. And so we need to take it seriously. But man, this is going to some crazy places in the final weeks.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.